Talk about the Fury. Everybody's talking about the Fury.
The Fury is here, and the community is losing their minds as the ship has the potential to provide a new and exciting carrier-based craft to players looking to pair them up with old ships like the Caterpillar, 890 Jump, and Hercules. The Fury's shape and size means you can easily fit swarms of these ships inside larger craft and apparently enjoy carrier gameplay light, until we see the likes of real carriers like the Liberator, Kraken, and
We're giving
Idris
one away this
hit
weekend.
the verse. We took the ship out for a variety of missions to test its capabilities and see how it performed. Before the Fury dropped, I suspected this ship would likely generate a big initial buzz, but quickly sink into obsolescence once the initial hype was over and players had used up their pocket carrier fun tokens and came to the realization that carrier gameplay in Star Citizen just isn't really worth the headache currently.
I don't know, carrier gameplay is right now in its various formats with the Fury. I mean, that is the positive about this little utilitarian ship. It fits anywhere, man. You can make a carrier out of any ship that carry this, that can carry this, man.
Trust me, we've done it a bunch in the past with ships like the Merlin and Archimedes, and while fun,
that's exactly what
it
I was
isn't
talking
an
about in
effective way
Inside
to
Star
use your
Citizen review when we
manpower
first went
or
over this.
time. I, of course, wanted to be proven wrong with the Fury, so let's get this baby loaded up and let's take it out for a spin.
Yeah, look
Oh,
at
it goes
this.
in
Look at
so
this.
easily.
Look at this. Look at this.
There
They
it
got
is.
four. They got
Perfection.
four
We
inside
started
of
by
it.
gingerly loading 10
Wow.
Furies into the Hercules,
Wow.
taking them to the surface of Lyria for some atmospheric flight to see how they handled and give deployment of the ships
Wow.
a first test run. However, it wouldn't be long until we encountered the Fury's first problem as the carrier
13
snub
fit
it's
inside of
being touted
C2
as.
fingers.
Number one,
Wow. Look at this.
Jesus,
Look at
that
the
was
physics.
bright.
Look at the physics, man. Look at the physics. Don't
Fighter
get me
number
started.
2, launch.
Fuck! Oh, stop there! For fuck's sake.
3,
Not 3 yet. 2 hasn't even gotten out the
Four.
door yet.
Oh shit! Oh sorry, my bad.
Wow. Look at all these Furies exiting.
Well, Team DTOX cuts the line.
Keep it at 10 then, huh, fingers?
No.
It's in me!
You're good. You're good. You're up.
So first deployment successful, except for that asshole who cut the line. Definitely wasn't me. We realized the Furies can quite easily embark and disembark the Hercules, and with some practice, you could get this down a lot quicker and smoother too. So, after flying for a few minutes on the surface, we began to notice one of the Fury's weaknesses, its fuel tanks. We'd only been out for a few minutes and hydrogen fuel was already beginning to burn fast, which is one of the places where the Fury and other snub craft fall short as carrier-based snubcraft, though this is a symptom of lack of actual carrier abilities and gameplay than just the Fury's small fuel tank, which will be a running theme throughout this video. So, the Fury doesn't last long in extended battles and you currently get around 15 minutes of combat flight time before refueling is required. Without real carrier capabilities in the game, like the important ability to replenish ammo and fuel, you lose the primary
That was
ability of a
awesome.
carrier-based
Nice shot on
craft,
that.
which is to project power for an extended period of time.
Yeah, because it's a little snub fighter and it has a very small tank. And the thing is they should enlarge it a little bit more. You know, who thinks there should be more fuel in the Fury? Put a 1 if you think there should be more fuel capacity in the Fury. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Limitless says 2. Wilkstree says 2. Interesting. I knew it was going to be like this. I knew it was going to be a tight one. What's up, Drop Hammer? Grab your chicken soup. Welcome to the fam. You have good taste. Don't question it. Just grab the chicken soup, bro. Get in the ring. Get in the ring. It's a long story.
Far away from port. Deploying 10 Furies from a Hercules, while fun and super cool, may give you an element of surprise for a short period of time, but you're pretty much toast against equal numbers of fully autonomous enemy fighters or turret-based craft.
Right, fingers. It is a snub.
The idea
like
that you'll be
P-72.
swarming your opponents with these ships is cute, but unrealistic. And of course, you could bring a Starfarer with you to refuel.
I don't know necessarily if it is unrealistic. Like, in the most extreme circumstance, a swarm of those would do some damage once missiles actually are a thing. But listen, here's what I have to say. As of right now, he might be correct. But one thing I do want from this, one thing I've always wanted from the Fury, and something that I think I don't know if it could ever really happen, but I talked about this when we watched Inside Star Citizen Review a few weeks back, and they featured the Fury, and that was to have like a grav lock to larger ships. Since I am the person who said, hey, this is like a flying turret, right? What if these things had a grav lock feature that went around larger ships like a Hammerhead, and that could like have like this geosynchronous orbit that would go around the larger ships? That would be bad ass. I would love that. Now, if you can script that into the game, please, devs over at Cloud Imperium, please make it happen. Right.
Kill the Furies.
Right.
You're doing it far too often, and without the ability for the snubs to jump to a safe spot to refuel Starfarer, the ships in your fleet will be vulnerable for extended periods.
And I'll form the head. And I'll form the head. Yes. Make it happen. Listen. Absolutely needs to happen. It would be so much cooler if it could, and we all know we want it. We all know what that is what she said.
Of time while ships queue up to refuel. And
Very
if you're all deployed at the same time,
Calamity. What's
and all
up?
ran out
Welcome,
at the
buddy.
same time,
Good to see
have
you.
fun waiting in line. This time we loaded a Caterpillar, which again, due to the Fury's shape and size, proved highly successful. Unfortunately, you can't fill both sides of the Caterpillar due to the port side catwalk, but getting 5 bays filled, including the front bay, is pretty good going.
That's a carrier.
We took the Furies to Ghost Hollow to see if we could run into any PvP, but we had a bunch of AI cutlasses to deal with instead.
Dude, the Caterpillar just got that much more valuable. You see what I'm saying? You see? On the gray market. I will say this. This Caterpillar, the price should be more now. This is an unpopular opinion, but the Caterpillar just got more valuable, if you ask me. It just got more valuable.
The Furies made pretty quick work of them and could make it pretty difficult for the cutlasses to get
you're
their
a
nose on
Caterpillar
due to
owner,
those Xi'an
you should be
engines
banking.
and their powerful strafing power. After siphoning a cool 300k from the terminals, it was time to load up, dust off, and hit a critical threat mission. While loading up, it became obvious to me how vulnerable these makeshift carriers really were to torpedoes, missiles, and squadron attacks. In the Caterpillar's case, your entire carrier complement is sitting inside a large defenseless flying coffin. And I'm sorry, CIG, but the idea that you're going to spend long periods of time loading these up with 5 to 10 players each and fly them to a hostile environment like Jumptown is laughable.
Maybe buff the hit points on the Caterpillar a little bit.
Now, the Hercules is obviously a better option, but deploying craft quickly in the event of critical damage or a sudden need to scramble is precarious at best. The ship ideally needs to be stationary in order to deploy the snubs inside.
Is that out of the question? To buff the hit points, to increase the hit points overall on the Caterpillar? Is that out of the question for you guys? Like, I would say maybe not, because even it would, you know, the industrialists would love it. You know, the PvEers would love it, especially those that get hunted down by pirates. They'd be down for that 100%. But perhaps even the PvPers would be for that. I don't know. Put a 1 in chat if you think they should have an overall increase on hit points for the Caterpillar.
Which is the perfect moment for a single Eclipse or Retaliator to absolutely ruin your day with a size 9 torpedo. Now again, I'm all for the fun aspect of using these things to fulfill your carrier dreams. Of course, it was the first thing me and my tried.
I think they need to revisit
really cool
it a little bit.
That you can fit a lot of these inside a bunch of shit.
You heard how DTOX referred to it, a flying coffin. Like, you know, like he's basically tested it, and he's like, flying coffin, basically. You know? So obviously, in function, it doesn't really work that great.
But the reality is that the Fury doesn't
make
a good carrier craft
right?
when
That
light
too, Wooks,
fighters
that too. You're right
exist,
there.
and real game applications for the Fury or any
But more
snub
duct
are
tape.
slim. If anything, the Fury highlights one of the problems Star Citizen has with light fighters in general, which is that light fighters simply have all the tools to do everything better and fly everywhere already
better use of
without
this, guys.
any logistical support. One of the other glaring issues with the Fury is its fragility. It only packs a single size 1 shield, and when that drops, its engines are incredibly vulnerable. I discovered during this mission just how fragile these were when my shields dropped while strafing a hammerhead.
It should be. A Fury should be easy to pop.
I began to retreat from the hammerhead, but almost instantly, one of my engines had taken critical damage, essentially putting me out of the fight. Instantly, losing control of my ship.
Shit, that was one of our.
Whoa, really? Ooh. Oh, I see. We might have found one of the weaknesses. Because the engines take yeah, look, the engines take a little bit of damage. You're basically screwed, and the engines are very easy to hit. They probably take, if you're flying away from any target, you're going to lose those engines quick, it seems. Great. If I keep it below SCM. I limped on for a little longer before my fuel fully ran dry, and the AI Idris turned up to start throwing railguns at our Caterpillar carrier.
I can't hold on much longer.
I EVA'd over to the Cat, narrowly missing a railgun shot between myself and the Caterpillar before we left the area. A job well done. Gonna splat me like a...
Whoa! Damn, son. That almost clipped him.
That went right past my head. That was a
Wow,
railgun shot.
dude.
In
That was
conclusion,
awesome.
the Fury is
What's
a
up,
fun
Morse?
and cool ship, no doubt. It has its weaknesses, and rightly so. It is just a snub, after all. However, this isn't the herald of early, viable carrier gameplay
Right,
that CIG would like its players to believe, and I feel the ship is going to be another casualty of CIG's reliance on ship sales ahead of ship sense, inserting ships into the game with a disregard for gameplay implications and the ship's balance or role within the game's landscape. One of the
I love
most
DTOX.
frustrating
I love
things
'em.
about Star Citizen is the sheer amount of ships that already exist with loosely defined, if not completely pointless roles, often imagined up by the ship creation team in order to keep the project funded. The
Okay.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hit me.
I love it. He's bringing the fire, dude. He's bringing the fire. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. To be fair, on the other side of the coin, they have to keep doing it. They have to keep bringing in the cash, man. They have to. They have so many expenses right now in real life. They have to. They have to. And he's right. They're like, be damned. Be damned. The rules are exactly how we're going to use this in game, because they need to focus on that. They need to have a team dedicated to actually saying, okay, this is how the ship performs. This is the rule it's going to function. And now let's test it. Let's test it for that rule before we release it and sell it. He's absolutely right. I love him. DTOX, he is on point.